Gentlemen and ladies, welcome to the What If Eater of Millions, this guy, was in My Hero Academia. So I thought about this for a very long time. I wanted it to be like a, because we have like people like Momo that has to eat, and then there's ones that are like the oh um yeah, people like Momo and them eat and then activates their quirk thing. Well, but for him, alright, I'm gonna put him in class 1B because his. I know that I am putting the most powerfulest person that they did not know, no, into class B. I said B, not V. So yeah. Basically, basically, the thing for a reason is because I want to have someone in class 1B. So, I know that I forget to add a person that's very important, but that's okay. So, yeah. The, of course, Eater of Millions from Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a effect. This effect. So, basically, it can't be normal summon or set. Must be special summon from your hand by banishing 5 or more cards from your hand, field, and or extra deck. Face down. Gain in like yeah. But in this what if the its effects of it gaining like power thing. Well, his detail is in his jaw actually. His mouth, like his one on his face, can basically eat, eat, and gains way more power. But there is one thing that I may add. It's called Berserk mode. That is just like every time he throws, or if someone, him or someone throws a food across, like to end up hitting the person, he could. I always use like example is waffles. Yeah, not the one from One Piece, the food kind. So yeah, like say it's actually his favorite food. Funny enough, because he doesn't require meat. Yeah, fresh waffle. When he throws it, good. Before I get too ahead of myself, let's begin. So he was born, and then at age of 4, and this doesn't affect the main timeline thing, but this is just the alternate version. So Zuko has a quirk in this whatever. So yeah, and I will not tell you what it is. You will find out later. So now Eater of Millions is basically at age of 4 he goes to a quirk doctor. His quirk doctor tells him that he has a quirk that I just had it a minute ago. He had a quirk that allows him to basically, or actually not infinity, but the starve. So yeah, it's a pretty weakest quirk that I may give to who, and it doesn't have anything in like in the no gains from it. Like it just makes him more hungry. Hungry. So yeah, but his power, or they went to a power doctor, or actually, he discovered that he must eat constantly. So yeah. So now a time skip to 15. And he goes to UA. And he gets put in class 1B. Yeah. With rest of them. So plus there's also, because his power or his quirk he doesn't die. He just then. So he has to eat constantly. As Blood Hero remembers that he has to eat constantly. So because he has a like big mouth thing, like big, he could eat the entire human if he wants to, but he chose not to. So, yeah, basically, Zuko, so basically, Eater will be short for Eater of Millions, was like, huh. So he's calm, cool, collective. He has that personality of calm, cool, collective. Unless someone throws a food at somebody. Or, yeah. Because his senses has been boosted up to smell from very far away. AKA, he could smell his favorite food, like waffles from like all the way to the other side of the world. And he can move 3 times as fast. So, yeah. So then I'm skipping all the way to the sports festival because he trained harder than the normal person. And then he always carries food with him. Like, in his pocket, he has his name is, or his full, like, his name is the one who devours all, is his hero name. And most people think that's kind of like villain name, but as he says, that or eater of millions. As they're trying to guess what his quirk is. But when and I forgot to mention, he also has X-ray vision. So it always is on, so he can see people's, or sees right through people's clothes. So he's and no matter what, as he's always embarrassed around the girls because he doesn't want to invade their privacy. So yeah, let me remind you, he is at 15. He can't, so his power manifested after his quirk of like starve. Now I'm turning this into a what if Orc Lord was in My Hero Academia instead. That's what it sounds like. So yeah. So at age of 4, he couldn't even talk to the girls without yeah. But only person that was his friend that he can tolerate is that invisible girl right here. Because because the reason why, she's invisible to him. So seeing through her clothes is like there's nobody there. It's like if she took off all her clothes and yeah. So yeah, so he says, or so he talks to her. So he tells her, ready, set, you bet, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So, yeah. Imagine if everyone, or imagine what he had to go through. Sometimes he sees like, yeah. So, let's continue. So now the sports festival. He was last place. But he's in cavalry battles. And, of course, he's in the fight one. As he goes, or actually, as he actually went over, because his body, when he really gets his power going, he becomes this whole different person. He becomes scary. As he, yeah, so he can tolerate the seeing guys' bare chests. But, yeah, he's trying not to get embarrassed. And then the girl, or actually, let's say Grapefruit, walks over, and he's still the same thing, but in canon. But there was one thing. Zuko, or no, not Zuko, the Eater got asked, why are you always so embarrassed when girls try to talk to you, or most girls, except for one. As he says, well, my quirk, or is starve, but I also have a power because let's say in this alternate timeline, there was a quirk doctor and a power doctor that they have to go through. So his power doctor tells him that he has infinite eats. Basically, infinity. He has infinity powers. So, and you have X-ray vision turned on all the time. So, yeah. Basically, and no, it's not 18 plus, it's just him seeing through clothes is his massive like weakness. Because he doesn't want to see through like as yeah, so Grapefruit is telling him, what do you see in those girls? As he latched on to his shirt and tells him that. As he says, man, you're trying to make me do that thing. As he tells Grapefruit that I was born with this is what he says. I was born with this power of X-ray vision turned on all the time. So yeah. As he didn't realize it. So only only person that he can tolerate is Invisible Girl. Oh, because so yeah. So he doesn't want to sit even next to his own like classmates, the girls. Because how embarrassing he is. Yeah, so like him had or he got forced to battle against Momo. As he's basically embarrassed. I don't know what he sees in but man, he was embarrassed. His face was like hers face. And yeah. And Zuko or an Eater said, or actually, he went easy on the Momo. Who? Like, send her out of a ring, of course. Then he battled against Bakugo. And Bakugo tried to do his, like, intimidation look thing. Like, looks right at him. He seems unfazed. But then as Bakugo's like, alright. As everybody's like, okay. But then as Bakugo turns his eyes and sees a food, like, or waffle flying right next to his head. As he swats it away, in the very second that he touched it, man, the Bakugo was out of the ring, bleeding, like blink of an eye. But let me do a slow motion for you. Just picture in your head you're in the audience watching this, and you see Eater going all berserk after he throws the waffle at Bakugo, and the second that he touched it, he split second, or the Eater split second with his eyes corrupted, like his literal eyes got turned into where is it? Into that, and punched Bakugo 5 times in the chest. And yeah, sending him flying out of the ring, landing. Yeah. As he picks up that waffle and eats it. Yeah. So basically, you know that and Seven Deadly Sins where Meliodas punches the Bon into out of the ring. It's like that, but a little bit less brutal. Not a full way. Yeah. As Bakugo's face was like, no. It's like that. As everyone stared right at Eater's, as he had this kind soul. He looked like he was being cute when he's eating his favorite food. As they could not believe that Bakugo the strongest one in Class 1A got beaten by the Eater, the Class 1B student. As everyone was like surprised about this, but the class representative, this girl right here, shows or tells him that good job, and show him who's boss. Yeah. And the one that was secretly in love thing, is Her by Rinko. Because he can be cool heart thing, but when you touch his food, like it's all over for whoever. Yeah. So basically, Zuko was strong. He was like, he can be on a Demon Lord Maline's level, or actually pass all the Demon Lords from the entire series of it. So yeah. So then he walks back. Of course, Invisible Girl was his friend. Not his girlfriend, but his friend. And that. So, yeah. So then Rinko sometimes has his spare clothes, like extra clothes. So he has as after the sports festival, because him against Todoroki, it was the same thing. But this time, when a waffle hits Todoroki's chest, yeah. You know that how All Might did his 300 punches from the video games? Well, yeah, Zuko, or no, I keep saying Zuko. Eater does the same thing. But instead of sending him flying, he just sends him flying out of the ring. As he looked like he went from being a. Where is that? Where is he? He went from being this to being like blood comes off of his face, his body. He has wounds. He was knocked out. As his body is like, yeah. And everybody thinks that this kid's crazy strong. And yeah. So And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Rinko part. So Rinko. So she ends up like after the sports festival. Uh, she walks up to him, and he's embarrassed because he sees not her with clothes on. He sees her without clothes on. As he as she knows that he might have something against her, but then, of course, the Invisible Girl told her that the he might be like a weirdo, but he isn't like about the class 1A or in my class, the grapefruit kid. Huh? So, but he is scared of looking at girls. So he's so he asks or no. So she asks him, "What are you afraid of? Seeing a naked girl with that power?" Just something about it feels off about it. It's not because just usually I'm not trying to be though like what he is. I understand, or she understands that he's totally opposite to the grapefruit kid. The one that I'm saying, the one in class 1A. Hold on. The you you got fans of My Hero Academia universe things. So when I say the grapefruit, I'm not talking about Dark Shadow. I'm talking about this guy right here. This guy right here. This one. If he had Eater's powers, he would be like set for life. Him, yeah. I'm not, and no, I'm not giving him that power. So, as she walks up to him, like she literally, like, came a little bit closer. And you know what she said to him? She said, and that she would rather, you know, or date him and then till 18 to get married thing. So yeah, he's embarrassed. So he's in the same class as her, and or he couldn't believe that one of his classmates asked him out on a date. He just realized that. Plus, it's a girl, so that makes him feel a little bit embarrassed. as she understands ends it better. So then after she left, he was like a little bit embarrassed. As he's like ready to as Mushroom Girl walks over. Oh, yeah. So the Mushroom Girl oh, tells her, well, what did he say? Well, I knew that he isn't like being a weird person, like that class 1B student, but I could tell that, or my, or actually, Invisible Girl told me that he has the power that can see through, or he has X-ray vision. As so, they were like, "Sheesh, is he a weirdo?" And she says, "No." He even told me that the reason why he didn't like girls is because or to look at girls, just to be specific, and is that the usually people have to get married, then they can look at their bodies. Something about it, of course, him looking at our bodies. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Sorry. And when he got home, he wrote down, like, he even drew pictures of human bodies as he's trying to think of what's, like, he doesn't even know what. So then now the internship thing, he battles against the serial killer Stain and almost try to kill him, first of all. Huh? But then the the of course Rinko and him are dating through the entire thing. So I'm not gonna go overboard with it. So that's why. So he so she ends up with taking him to a fancy restaurant. And he's also competing against like the other anime characters. The I forget that guy that has mulch for or whatever that for it's called though from One Piece. That guy that has a wide mouth because he's eating like donuts after donuts. Yeah. So yeah. Basically he so what she likes about him is that. So then, after that whole shenanigans, camp arc. And the only. So I'm skipping the camp arc, but the All Might versus All for One, Zuko, or let's say Bakugo, got captured this time, and the All Might, or of course, All for One says any last words. Well, yes, I do. Here, catch, as he throws a pancake, or no, not pancake, a waffle at All Might, or no, at All for One. And when the second that he left its hand and touched All for One's arm, then, of course, Rinko could sense it. His power is gonna go as his eyes start to turn black. And then he became much more. So his eyes, his body starts to transform into a monster that have unlimited power. It just it blurred in an instant, and as All for One's both arms and legs were got cut off from it. As he grabs All for One's head, as he says this in a really deep, dark tone. Alright, you hurt All Might, and you try to, burn or swat my food away from me. I'm not okay with that. As he tears All for One limb from limb, organ from organ, all the way to his genetics. Yeah. It was brutal. As he went back into his cute self, or his human self, and ate the waffle. Oh. As he smiles at the food thing. As he eats it. And yeah, he had so much blood on him. It looked like he was just. Yeah. Everybody was terrified of how strong the and how fast so yeah, even All Might, or actually Nezu, was like, good jobs, class 1B student eater. You might be bumped up to class A. Or after this. As he yeah. So because his effects are starve thing, he can basically let's say there was a eating competition, a hot dog eating competition at UA. The the second day after the so he ends up eating way more. Like his mouth was bigger than and he yeah, his mouth was bigger than a to swallow the entire hot dogs. And yeah, they weren't just like the hot sauce thing is uh, ghost pepper apocalypse. Ems. Yeah, as a hot sauce. As he ate all of them, he devoured it. And he was not ashamed of it, as he was the winner. He got the 2 tickets to the the not to Africa, but the some other like Hawaii. So he basically, of course, Rinko was always sneaks into his bedroom. But this time he was awake and expecting her. As Rinko was confused on why he's always up so like late thing. As he tells her that he because he has one or no, he has two because the yeah. So yeah. So what does he do? He gives the number 2 thing because he chose her to go with him. And yeah. Uh, so she ends up not declining, but she really wants to go. Oh. Oh. She gets like her packed up. And let's say it was 4 weeks. Or no, 3 weeks. Or no, 4 weeks. So her parents told her that it's okay to go on a date with him, and yeah. So he ends up going with her, or actually, she is okay going with him too there. And yeah, basically, they are dating, basically. The one that could have her entire body into his mouth. Oh, like Eager dates Rinko. And then after that, so let's say a time skip. They came back after 4 weeks have passed. And yeah, she went from being a quiet kid with a little bit of talking thing to being a girl that's ready to do something at night. So, you know what she chose? Actually, she says this to him. She says that I never expected you to have a this much. So he ends up dating her through the almost 2 weeks of it. But then the third week, she just finally, because her parents always comes and checks on her, and you know what she says to them? Then she wants to, like, if it's okay with you, parents, like, because her parents knows that she's gonna get married to him, so she ends up getting married, or so she asks him if it's okay to get married to, you know, so he says it's fine. After all, yeah. Plus, it was her birthday, so I don't know how old she is. I forgot. So let's make her 18. Yeah. So same thing as him, because he always has his birthday early in the week, like first, because he wasn't just born a normal person. He was born with a, like, first of the year thing. So he's the same age as her. And yeah, so she ends up becoming a. So they got married. And she became his wife. So instead of calling her Rinko Yakima, he is, or she is now called Rinko of Millions. So I was trying to find the name. So yeah, because they both got married in Hawaii. Then they had their, like, whatever that meeting's called, the sorry, the meeting, or the honeymoon. That's what. And when they got back, he kind of bought a place because his family is okay, and he actually bought a house or mansion because the, you know. So Rinko, let me remind you, this is during the overhaul thing. So yeah, and when they came back, she decides to get down to like her favorite thing, or that he fears the most, because he never does that, like, because he's so embarrassed to, like, but the grapefruit doesn't have that problem. So then, and she says, let's see that side of you that just embrace it, okay? And yeah, then now 18 plus us, and couple 1 month later, or actually 2 months later, huh? We are at the hospital with a happy silver-haired girl. Oh, 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 not sponsored. Don't worry. With a happy, like her being all happy and stuff like that, and stuff, as she sometimes understands what it is, as she gave birth to 2 kids that have, both of them can, like, because his powers of infinity thing, so he switched the, like, starve quirk with a custom powers for the kids, so that they don't have to always have to constantly eat all the time. So their son has this silver hair on one side, and because he is also was born with red hair, so the other looks like, he kind of looks like a Todoroki. And the other was a girl, like a, that has the, like, because he can change his hair color, so hers, she still has the same, like, gray or like silver as her mother's fully, because her powers are different from her mother's, because it's a similar thing, but she can, like, make people shrink or make objects shrink, and yeah, or grows all the way to bigger life size. Yeah. So he does beat up, like, and sorry if this video is long. Alright. So yeah. So now this is the end of the what if. So because I'm not gonna bore you with the too much details, so bye.